people tend to underestimate that in Mkhonto Wesizwe you can't just do as you please. This is not a free-for-all organization where you think you can come and try and pull your weight and be arrogant with our members. Most of our members were never happy with how he did things. And we need to listen to the members. One of the other things is, he went and, 3 days before, 4 days before, he was obviously removed. He went and changed people's names at the IEC, the accounting officer, for him to the accounting officer. Now, that's a serious issue and a serious transgression. Where you go and you take such decisions, you write a letter to the IEC, you don't communicate with ourselves. That reeks of intent to hijack a party. And many other elements that we've seen. And maybe, this is what is leading to this consultative parallel party within a party kind of consultative process. That's what we need to understand.
So you don't believe,
because remember, he's still our member.
Yeah.
And he must account to us, remember, and tell us exactly what it is that he's doing. So, because we need to understand what exactly is going on here. Remember, we're a party that leads society. And if we have members in our organization that are going to be transgressing the Constitution or coming up with initiatives that are supposedly supposed to unite, we need to understand what does that mean. Yeah. We're the only platform that we believe.
But then Floyd Shivambu says,
to unite the
says
black
there are
people
claims,
in
in part of that report, there are claims that he was speaking to the Stellenbosch people who were sort of funding him. And they
is that what he's saying?
Well, he says that there were claims that he's somehow speaking to Stellenbosch people.
Well, did he tell you which Stellenbosch people he was speaking to?
I don't know. You saw the transcripts. Tell me.
No, well, I didn't see the transcripts. I didn't see the transcripts. That's why I'm saying I was not part of this so-called intelligence report or part of this process.
Yeah.
I didn't see those transcripts. I was not part of the meeting. So this is the feedback. My responsibility in any case is that I'll get, obviously, that feedback and get a sense of what happened. But that particular meeting, I was not part of it.
So is there
that's why I find it strange that I would have shared intelligence reports with the president when I was not even part of that process.
Is there a sense that he wanted to take over from President Jacob Zuma, or somehow wanted to take over the party, as some of the MK party members have claimed?
Well, I'm sorry, but this man is a liar, because also I understand from the interview this afternoon, he said that the president wanted him to be the president of the party at the point that he came in. And he said a number of things which are not factual, which are not true. So we're dealing with a person, and again, if you look in hindsight, that is quite honestly, that lacked the emotional intelligence to handle the role that he did. He lacked judgment. It's now starting to show based on how he's reacting, and he's acting really out of character, the person that we never knew him to be. But I think to a great extent, we should say that the national official's decision to then maybe remove him from there can only be a vindication to that decision. Take into consideration what has now happened and how he's reacting to the situation that he finds himself. So he's acting like a wounded buffalo, unfortunately.
What about the claims of witchcraft?
Well, have you asked him about the claims of witchcraft?
Well, he doesn't want to come and do an interview with me, so...
What is, he fears you?
Well, maybe you should ask him that.
Clearly he does, but look, I would encourage him, Mr. Shivambu, come and do an interview with Manya Taylor. Look, some of the transcripts and the feedback was that, yes, he had taken Dudu's hat and, they were aimed to bewitch her, and this is what is obviously also circulating. And this is what it is, and that, he will then deal with that woman who's directionless.
Is this part of
and
what
this
was
conversation
in the report?
with an individual in Malawi? And that, he would then ensure that when the old man passes on, he takes over the party. So these are some of the conversations that are happening and that are taking place. It's a lot. And that's why you realize that to a great extent we've been quiet in terms of what has transpired. Because sometimes it's important to know when to communicate and when not to communicate.
Some of the things you're sharing are quite unbelievable. He says you're a drug addict, says you're a drunkard. What are you doing about that? Will you be challenging that in any way?
Well, it's said that a person who wants to lead a party will resort to such disparaging comments and character assassinate me. I've never had any issues with him. But the reality is I've got a whole lot more a whole lot more intelligence emotionally than him. I'm leaps and bounds with, when it comes to even thought level and strategy when it comes to him. And that's a fact. I've sat with him.